Hello, welcome to the ninth lecture for our class. Today is June 15, 2020. And for this is next week is the final week. Just a reminder, uh, like we mentioned last week, just send me a final paper, essay. Length is not too long. You don't just limit it to one page. Should be enough. If you wanted to expand it more, which is okay. There's no like a firm requirements. Main key is the whatever you haven't found the whatever you learn throughout this time of 2 months period, you can put it in, which relate to whatever we discussed during this course. Your thoughts, whatever you learn, whatever you see from your this in our society, you can tie to all this into back to your own consolidated mind, how you interpret these events, how you interpret my lecture, how you interpret your own thought process, and how you interpret whatever happened in the world. If you can make that summary, hopefully that will help you to find your own answers at this period. So answer of your own is ongoing process. That's what I'm wanting to remind you. Any answers in our life is not fixed. It should be, you should be able to grow every single time based on what your current situation. So every single time you're learning something, you write it down and keep it on the record or keep it on your mind. And later you look back, you check. That's how you see how much you've been changed. And that's a good habit that you can develop along with this your own religious practices. So I would just want to remind you throughout this course, you can have that experiments. And the final is that only purpose of the final for you, but for beneficial for all of you. I wish to have that in money in your mind, in your habit, and have in your mind also. And also, this course is also the title of the course is the Buddhist history of Buddhism. I mentioned some histories and as well as some main discipline ideas and concepts of Buddhism. I mix it together with not only mention about history because many of our students has various deep backgrounds. Some of you may know more than others, and some of you may just have just uh, a beginning of to learn to expose to this new area. And some of you know about the Buddhism from the personal life, but not really uh, folk into digging into, just very superficially exposed, and that creates more confusion because Buddhism can be representing in very different way, various way, and in order to capture the essence, you have to know that what's actual meaning that we're holding on to. So if no one give you the guidance, sometimes we got lost in massive textual studies, massive sutras or writings, or even the rituals. So some of you asked that question throughout the midterm. Um, some some rituals in Buddhism. What's that truly mean? What is that tie with that our discussion or Buddhist thoughts? So some of the rituals are related, but it's not easy to see that, capture that. So just bear in mind. And also at this by this chance, I wanted to let you know Buddhism as a representative, as a formal religion in that you saw outside, that is what's the result end. And it's not, I can guarantee you, it's not perfect word. You see a Buddhist talk about nonsense, and some Buddhists are maybe misguide you. All these things are it's a it's a reality. It does not limit to Buddhism at all. So basically, my kind of suggestion is listen to your heart, listen to your own self. Whether this is the beneficial for you, then you take it. That's the portion you can learn at this period. Try not to jump too high to get achieve something that doesn't really helping us. Whatever you sounds that's the right to you, you go for it. And you analyze it, you take it and practice it. Make it to your own, thing. Become you own that. And then when you move on, you'll find different ideas, which maybe you ignored it earlier. Maybe it sounds like so absurd long previously. Now it makes sense because we are growing. So those answer that was sounds absurd, that's not the answer at that point we are looking for. Even that is a good wisdom, but that doesn't we don't need that. We need the answer along the way while we are make progress. So there's no such a thing as a right and wrong, but you just need to know how to migrate it. So that needs some skill that we all need to develop it. So hopefully you understand this progress. So everybody needs some progress check, I guess. and this course is a great opportunity to you to have those plans, I'll say. Okay. So let me see. Sorry to change this. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a lecture, and next week I'm going to do another one, which is could be a short one, and I'm going to wrap it up for our course. And before I close this our course, I wanted to give you another understanding, another main philosophy idea of what Buddhism you should know, and which should be beneficial for our life in current situation is, and this also tied to any religion. So if you're having a different background, then you should link those your personal experience with our discussion here, which is Buddhism has emphasizing does not have only one truth. So Buddhism doesn't emphasize only one truth. Isn't it? Sounds amazing, or sounds maybe a little weird. So I wanted to explain you on that part. What that means is Buddhism emphasizing there is a lay life, which is our regular life, our mundane life, which is our whatever we see, whatever we learn, whatever we discuss, all these things, whatever you're making a living, it's relating with our community, our society, our country, and our world. Everything what we do is boiling down to those relationships that you've been through yourself and the world, and how we communicate, how we make that relation is based on our language, our behavior, and our thoughts. Everything is related. So your thought process trigger your language. Also, your emotion trigger your how you make that presenting. So that language it communicates with your action towards to others, other people around you, other people that relating to you, either online or offline. You are make that communication all the time, and that's how you make your living, how you exist in this world. So that is the one side of the world that we cannot get away. We're living into it, we born with it, and until we die, we have to live in this condition. Religion and Buddhism talk about that world is human realm, human world that is limited and it's not perfect. There is a many issues that you saw. One of the issue is that we find it out is we're very fragile. Fragile in a sense, we are not perfect. We thought we are, but actually it is we aren't. And make a living in this world, we are constantly make our effort to do our best to be a better person and be a you know financially stable, and you can stand out in this society. But at the same time, spiritually, we have to acknowledge that we are not, we cannot resolve any issues. We're not perfect, and that's where the religion is, take part. So there's a human realm, human world, and there is another uh, side, I would say, is the spiritual world, and that could be any religious background. You can relate it to that word. So the word you're come across, trying to seeking the God's way, or the Lord, Jesus, or in other backgrounds. In Buddhism, is your um, in Buddhism, they are talking about the different layer of the heavenly thoughts, heavenly status that you can achieve through the meditation. That could be relating with this. So by and large, try to understand when you're expanding your thought and consciousness, you are expanding your capacity to interact with the world, which is not limited to our human realm, human world. What is good for that? What is that meaning? It sounds like that doesn't really help in our daily life. Actually, it is. There is some practical meaning for it, because there is whatever we are having limited, we acknowledge that myself is limited. That is the time you acknowledge yourself. You are your limitation is that you see that contour, I would say that limits. If you know that limitation, that means you know yourself very clearly. If you do not see that line of limitation, that means you're in it, but you don't see it clearly, and you are somehow blindsided, and that we do not know what we are doing, even where we make our life effort and doing our actions in daily basis, but we do not know where we are heading to, and we thought we can do anything, we can to achieve everything, we can resolve every single. There's so much confidence, but that confidence is not coming from your own clear wisdom, but rather from the blind ignorance. So Buddhism is the religion trying to awaken. When we say the enlightening is not one-time deal. Some Buddhist tradition may say this is once you enlighten it like this, then everything's done. You're good to go, and you make a service to yourself. That's a that's that is true. That's a theory of one of the Buddhism, but what true enlightenment means just a purely awakening. That you're awakened from whatever you didn't know before. That's the moment you enlighten. A little bit, little by little, you're going to expanding your own capacity of your thoughts, and you are expanding your consciousness. The more you can embrace that is different from yourself, that is more you grow. So as you may experience throughout your life is very strange thing. It's the society and our education telling you to go to better school, go to get a better job, and and so on. That is all beneficial to yourself. You're achieving your own selfish goal. So it looks like we're working on ourselves all the time. But if you go higher, if you're getting older and you get a job, if you get a family, and if you're getting promoted to a higher level or supervisor or manager, all you do is taking care of other people, not yourself. So you're achieving better and higher. The more higher you go, the lesser you have to think about yourself. If you still think about yourself, there should be an issue. You'll get into a conflict. If you're being a selfish person, when you are become a manager, then you'll be having a hard time with your employee or your subordinates because they need your support. So you become a selfless, more or less a selfless person. You are helping others, helping your family, your spouse, your children, your subordinates, people who need your help. And even when you volunteer, you reach out to the people who are in need, and they need your support. So eventually, what irony is, the more you contribute, the more you contribute to the others around you, which whether it's related to you or not related to you. Whatever you do, whatever you contribute, you become achieving higher position, which is very selfish. It sounds like very selfish to achieving a higher or better position in the world, but at the same time that requires that your selfless acts, your compassion need to be influenced towards the others, which is not you. So let me link with this too with our discussion here. Your achievement, your self-achievement to getting a better, wealthier life, healthier life is very selfish, but that's the mundane, that's the word that were our that were worldly requirements, I would say. So that's nothing wrong about it. But if you're stuck into it, you will not see the other side of the relations, the cause, those cause and effect, what make you to get to this position. Okay. So when you acknowledge the other side of the world, which is more like a spiritual related, that you wanted to give it out, that you are you are control yourself, you're getting make a learning and make money. All these are you wish to helping others, helping your kids, helping your family, helping um, your not only your family but helping uh, your workplace, your colleagues, your boss, or you expanding your own um, your thoughts. You're expanding that all are related. We all are related, but at the same time, we are limited to your own body and your own mind. So the worldly view, as well as your spiritual world, if you are find that balance, that is the key to get into. You can success in both sides, and that is very practical thought in this understanding of religion. And there is nothing wrong to acknowledge both sides. And Buddhism emphasizing that make a life, flourish your personal life, making better and wealthier as much as you can, but trying to make that compassion to others. That include your not that does not include and you just give it out everything and you're just being you know poorly or having nothing on yourself. That does not that's not what we mean. What we mean is whenever there is a chance, you come up you have a chance to meet with someone. Be nice. Be nice. Trying to be helpful. Trying to be ready for yourself. You don't have to try to not be stable as much as you can in social status, so you can helping others. If you're not at that position, trying to put focusing on yourself and trying to get that status. You learn it, you learn, study, and gain all those help from others to establish yourself first. But at the same time, you doing this, just keep it in mind, one day you're going to contribute to the people who are support you. But those people are not only limited to that, the people who are related to your past, but people who may not related, but the society itself, the community. Because those community, the society, the country, which is whether it is United States or the countries that you are coming from we're coming from many different backgrounds and countries, are all built you to be who you are at this point. So you have to make that gratitude and trying to make that your mind um, make compassionate towards others. So when you have that mind trying to build that, you're going to be surprised. You'll be surprised how much when you practice that towards others, to just you're not giving out anything. You're not giving out your financial wealth. That's yours. That's yours to grow. That's your seed money that you uh, can achieve better position to helping better other person better. So all you need to do is try not to harm others with your thoughts, with your language, with your word. That sounds very simple, but it isn't. I'm surprised sometimes I'm still have to, speaking out some words are hurting my spouse without I'm aware of it. So I have to be aware, I have to be constantly remind myself, but still I make mistake. And I got consequences right away. And then I try not to make some lame excuse and trying to achieve something better person every single time. So try out, just make the own practice. It doesn't cost you any money. Just changing our mind is very um, cost effective because only thing you need to do is just look back yourself, reflect yourself, try not to get interfere with other stimulus that we receive daily basis. So meditation is a technique or prayer service or other religious service or simple reflection can help. Anything help. Reading the Bible, reading the Buddhist sutras, reading the Taoist text, Tao Te Ching, or even I Ching, any text that enhance that your own expanding your thought capacity will help. So I wanted to give you that idea as a last lecture of this course. So I'm going to mention about the middle path. So you hear some the word called middle path in Buddhism. So I wanted to give you a little bit more about that. So, but basically, middle path is between your this worldly understanding of the truth, and there is a outside of the spiritual or the understanding of the truth. These two truths are related, and you have to find that fine-tuned your own balance in between. That's the middle path that we are trying to discover. So everyone should find your own middle path within those two words. Otherwise, you will get that conflict, and you will get suffered because of that. Okay, well, we can discuss a little bit further, but let me close this video clip, and I'll get back to you.